It's been a disastrous time for Ubisoft. They're pumping out products that people don't want, and it seems that they're going to be losing a lot of money in 2024 alone. But now a new rumor is circulating that the Assassin's Creed Shadows pre-orders are less than 800 units from a national chain with over 900 stores. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I do not think that Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to be a spectacular failure for Ubisoft, because I do think that they are going to sell some copies simply because of brand recognition. I do think that the Assassin's Creed name is something that people will just blindly support. But on the other hand, I do think that gamers are becoming more and more aware of the content that companies are creating, and they are listening to people online like Twitch streamers, YouTube content creators, talk about things in games before they actually release and before they go and pre-order titles. And so far, the reception to Assassin's Creed Shadows and also Star Wars Outlaws has been extremely negative, which is why I do not think that either of these games are going to do exceedingly well for them. But now a rumor is circulating that the pre-orders for Shadows are abysmal. It says a rumor claims that physical pre-orders for Ubisoft's upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows game are less than 800 from a national retail chain that has over 900 stores. This is a rumor that's actually being circulated by Stutter and Craig. He said, "My insider told me that as of this morning at their nationwide big box chain, Assassin's Creed Shadows has less than 800 pre-orders combined for Xbox and PlayStation 5 company-wide. They have over 900 stores. That is less than one pre-order per store. Yikes." Now, there are a couple different factors here. First of all, we're not talking about digital. We are only talking about physical, and a majority of the video games purchased now are digital. It's about 70 to 75%. That number kind of fluctuates, but about 70 to 75% that are purchased digital now. So these are physical numbers. I wouldn't expect physical numbers to be, but at the same time, we are talking about Assassin's Creed here. If game is going to get a lot of pre-orders, it would be something like an Elden Ring or an Assassin's Creed, because that brand recognition is there. And we don't know exactly what chain this is. It could be something like a Walmart, Target, Best Buy, or GameStop. And let's be fair, the two chains that are still really doing physical media are GameStop and Best Buy. Walmarts and Targets are moving away from physical media and pre-orders. And yeah, eventually Best Buy will too, but that's a different conversation entirely. So I would assume that this is going to be something like a GameStop or a Best Buy, judging by the store numbers, because he's saying they have over 900 stores. But, the issue I have with Assassin's Creed Shadows is that it is in the middle of the culture war right now. There are millions of people around the world talking about this game. Look at all of the backlash that is being levied towards this game in Japan, in the West. People are not happy with what they're seeing, and I do think that, yes, that is going to affect these sales. Companies can try to convince us all they want that their numbers are doing amazing and they're getting the pre-orders that they're expecting, because they want to try to convince investors that everything's all fine and dandy for them so they can continue to earn those sweet, sweet ESG investment dollars. But I don't think that this game is going to do the crazy numbers that they want. Again, it's like Star Wars Outlaws. Star Wars is a very big name, and there are people that are going to blindly swipe their credit cards on a Star Wars game because they remember the old days of Battlefront and Knights of the Old Republic, and then newer titles like Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. But the reception to that game has been extremely negative, and so far for launch weekend, things don't seem to be going very well for them, and we've still got months before Assassin's Creed Shadows comes out, which could bode in their favor because it means more time for people to pre-order their game, or it could go not in their favor and people could cancel their pre-orders. I always say, guys, do not pre-order games until you see a bunch of gameplay, until you know for a fact that you are going to be happy supporting a product, because companies do think, oh, well, these people are stupid and they're just going to buy whatever we try to sell them. And there are some people who do buy anything that Ubisoft will put out. But we have to be smarter and we have to be better than that. What we have seen from Star Wars Outlaws has definitely not voted in Ubisoft's favor. And what we've seen for Assassin's Creed Shadows so far has not voted in their favor. We've seen 15 minutes of gameplay where you had hip hop behind Yasuke's combat. Boy, oh boy, they made a decision with that one. We've seen all of the discussion about the alleged historians that they've hired who simply came up with like a fan fiction version of Yasuke's life in order to sell copies of their books. So they're really only interested in profit. And I just do not trust Ubisoft to provide us with a really good experience. Again, keep in mind, this is the company with this product that they released the pre-orders for the $70 to $130 editions, and they hadn't even shown us gameplay, which is extremely questionable and just all around scummy. And a lot of people are talking about these pre-order numbers, saying things like the Ubi flop is real. It's unfortunate because Ubisoft does have some amazing franchises. They've created some really great games in the past, but I just can't blindly trust a company like this anymore. Neither can anyone else, really. What happened to those saying they will still buy it because it's Assassin's Creed? What happened? If these numbers are true, Ubisoft's in for an extremely rough time. Will we ever get the digital pre-order numbers? Maybe. Sometimes they end up being leaked, but I don't know if that's going to happen here. I would assume that, yeah, they are significantly higher because, again, a lot of people do purchase digital now, but it's still not a good look when you have a chain with over 900 stores having less than 800 pre-orders. People are also saying things like, great news, here's hoping that the game will fail hard alongside Outlaws and force Ubi to rethink their DEI strategy moving forward, or, keep losing money. Since The Acolyte has been canceled and Concord flopped hard, the tide is finally shifting. Vote with your wallets. And that is exactly what people have been doing. They have been voting with their wallets, which is amazing to see that so many people are simply taking the time to research products and companies and developers before they blindly support them. And yes, this is all a rumor, so take it all with a grain of salt, but it's not shocking given all of the backlash that we have seen surrounding this title so far. I will be keeping my eye on it and on Ubisoft in totality because they have pumped out a lot of remakes, a lot of remasters. They've disappointed a lot of people with delays, like with Beyond Good and Evil 2 that's been in development for over a decade that I personally don't think is ever going to come out. And, Star Wars Outlaws has finally released, and that has not been going super well for them given how buggy and glitchy it is. You're basically playing as the Crimson Chin. A lot of people are disappointed, and we still have months to go before Assassin's Creed Shadows release, which could vote in their favor. Maybe they can show us more gameplay that will help their sales along, or they could show us content that is absolutely abysmal, and people, show that they're even more disappointed and ultimately cancel their pre-orders. Only time will tell, but for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.